Going into the next year, playing it small has no space in your life. I think all of us, everyone in your audience that loves you and supports you, wants to see you grow beyond what you may have been doing in the past year. Go big, go big, turn up, level up in your personal brand. We are waiting for you to really blossom and show us this boss side of who you are. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and do something wild, do something crazy good for your brand. I want to have a conversation, one coming from the lens that I am a geek about all things content creation, online business, and digital marketing. So I really care about this stuff. And secondly, I am a viewer. I watch a lot of lifestyle influencers, and I think my perspective as a viewer, combined with me being a geek in this area and in this realm, really makes for a good conversation on what you should be doing and preparing for when it comes to the next 12 months. In this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 tips that will help you take your brand to new heights as a lifestyle influencer. So let's get into it. Diversifying your income streams, I think, is something that is gonna be super important for you to do, because it's wonderful if you've been able to create a life that you love and you're happy in with your income that comes from AdSense and sponsorships / brand deals. But that type of income and that type of money is reliant on another set of people and other companies, and kind of creates this cap of growth for you. You are responsible for staying in line with the requirements of your contract. You have to sell another company's product and or service to your audience. And it's like, are you ready to cut out the middleman? Are you ready to create a product or service or throw events or something, for your own brand and sell directly to the audience that you built? Is that something that you're ready to do in the next 90 days and beyond? Because if you are, I think you're gonna really surprise yourself with how amazing this journey of entrepreneurship in this new way is going to be for you. I think that diversifying your income streams, specifically with creating a product or service, is going to give you some autonomy and stability to your income and allow you to start to measure hey, if I bring in this level of income on a monthly basis, I'm going to be able to get to X point in my life. And yes, that means you're probably going to have a certain amount of money, and you can predict the amount of money that you're going to have. But you also will have greater influence and greater impact and a greater connection with your audience, which just means more opportunities in the future for you as a personal brand. I'm just wondering, I'm not a lifestyle influencer myself, but as a viewer, if you don't post your content, do you make money? Yes, you're probably still getting the views from your old content, and I wonder if that sustains you. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is, are you interested in creating a business or an additional income stream where it's not 100% reliant on you producing content? I guess the difference is, for example, you have a brand deal or sponsored product or content that you have to make. You have to create that video and include that product into the video. But if you had a product that you created or a service that you had, that's not necessarily dependent on you creating that video and directly inserting a segment where you're selling to your audience. If you decide to create a product or a service, you have an opportunity to practice organically selling to your audience. And that could be its own little video in itself. But diversifying your income streams by creating a product or service for yourself, I think will change your life in a way that creating income for yourself from brand deals and AdSense has not been able to do. I opened up this video talking about me encouraging you to stop playing small. Like, the fact that you've amassed the audience that you have already, and you have the attention and charisma, you've learned all the skills that you have up until this point to do what you're doing right now, which is being a full-time content creator. It's like, you definitely deserve praise and award and applaud, and that's not something that to be taken lightly, and you should be proud of yourself. But I think in this next year, I am pushing you to think big and expand your brand. This falls in line with the tip that I just shared, but what can you do for your personal brand that is really like out of the box? And like I said, you probably started last year, or what's about to be last year, thinking like, oh, I'm about to do this, do this, do this. I know you have ideas. You're creative. Like, I know there's things that you've been like, marinating on and having in your mind, and like, you want to get it out, but you may have been stuck in the cycle of whatever comes along with making majority of your money from brand deals and AdSense. And I'm asking you, what can you do differently? How can you prepare for the rest of this year to actually act on those ideas in your mind, those big ideas that once again can be life-changing? And not only for you, it could be life-changing for your viewers, which you can start looking at your viewers as your customers. How can you give your gift in this new way this year, and packaging that into a product or a service that will not only change your life, but change your viewers' life / customers' life, your viewers that have been riding with you and been down for you. Like, I know giving is something that is important to, because of how consistent you are with sharing your life, and knowing like, by posting these videos, I'm helping someone out there. So I know you have a spirit of wanting to help others, but I am challenging you to do that in a way that helps you create income and generate money for yourself in a way where we're not dealing with or relying so heavily on these brand deals and these sponsorships and all that. Like, it starts, like, you start to create a deeper connection with your audience, because there's this transaction happening between you two that feels right. It's not, you're not going to create something that is ill-fitting for your audience, and it's going to be something that they'll benefit from and you'll benefit from. So why not think big and go big this year with building your personal brand in this way? I think before I get into the next tip, I do want to make a point that obviously a lot of lifestyle influencers, y'all's main thing is vlogs and showing your lifestyle, and that very, come along with me for my day, my week type of content. I also want you to think bigger about what other content can you start to create, and this content will fall in line with your idea for building your personal brands that is in your mind, that you've been slowly marinating on. What content can you make that merges those things together and starts to introduce your audience to this idea or ideas that you've had in your mind, and really start to align yourself with that idea and what it stands for and everything. Like, associate yourself with it, so your audience starts to associate with, ooh, I can go, not only is this like my comfort vlogger that I watch, I can go to her for this, I can go to him for this. I may not need it, but I know folks that do need this product or this service or this thing that they've been talking about. Hold on, my heat is coming on. Let me turn that off. Tip number 3 is taking a consumer-centric approach to everything that you're doing with content and with your brand going forward in the next 12 months. You need to become obsessed with your audience, because these are your viewers, but they're also gonna be your potential customers, and Now, like I said, I'm not a influencer. I don't know how invested you are in your audience currently without a product and or a business. But since that's where you're headed to, now you need to be like full throttle into whatever they're into. Like you need to start to know your consumer like the back of your hand and become obsessed with their desires and their needs, etc. That is going to be one of the main ways that your new business venture that you're about to embark on, that's going to be one of the main ways you are successful with your upcoming product and slash service. You have to make majority of your business decisions based off of your customer. They, especially going forward in 2024 and beyond, the consumer's opinion is the most important. And because you're not a big brand company like Colgate or something like that, or Coca-Cola, like you're not a huge conglomerate like that. You are so close with who your potential customer is going to be because vlogging and having your lifestyle so embedded into the content that you create has created this intimacy between you and the person that will potentially buy from you in the future. You are so close. These bigger brands are miles and miles and miles away from the customer, and they have all these cycles and different people that they got to pass all this stuff to. Like their content strategy is way different from yours because they're just bigger, and you can take advantage of being so close to your consumer, and you can do that by getting to know them in and out. So what is a way that you can do this? Raven Elise actually did this year, and she held a focus group. I'm not sure if she called it that, but I think she was experiencing like a funk and like, all right, what content should I be making and what should I be doing with my channel?
That's where the focus group comes into play, because we had this idea to get together a group of you guys so that I could talk to you guys about it, because I make content for you. If I release a product, I'm releasing a product for you to buy. Anything that I do, y'all are obviously a huge part of it. Like that's the whole reason why I'm doing it, right? So if I'm lost on what to focus on or what to do or not do, who better to discuss that with than you guys? And I do post like little polls on my Instagram story. I'll put out little things where it's like, comment if you have any video requests, but like I wanted to do something more than that. I wanted to have a more intimate, real face-to-face, deeper conversation about it. So we had this idea to do a Zoom meeting with you guys so that we can actually talk to you guys about it.
Raven Elise is an OG. She needs her props all day, every day. Been on this platform and has created an amazing personal brand for herself. But she did come to a roadblock, and she went to her audience to figure that out. And she had like a Zoom or a Google Meet. She put it on her social media and said like, hey, I want to have this candid conversation. I'm choosing a few folks. And she had a conversation about where to take things next. And I think she had an amazing year for content on her channel that is still Raven Elise, but she was able to remain consistent and do a whole bunch of stuff. But you can start to hold focus groups with your audience and just imagine how close-knit that would be, and be like really talking to them. Like I'm not sure what those conversations, like Peyton Marie Charles, she has expressed that she really be having deep conversations in the DM with her audience. And she's also implemented live streaming this year. And that's another great way to like start to really just have organic conversations to see what your audience is into. And like, I know I mentioned you should create a business and a product or service of your own, and you may be like, I don't know, what am I gonna sell to these people? I don't know. And that's fine. Like, I think that's normal. You wanna go to them, ask your audience, like, would you guys be interested in? Like, ask them to throw ideas to you. We as viewers watch you, and like, you may not feel the same thing that we feel because you don't watch us, like, you know, like, but we watch you and we know you in a way that you don't necessarily know yourself. There's this J. Cole line that I really want to remember. He essentially alluded to his fans know him more than he knows himself because of how like invested they are into his lyrics and into his music. And it's like, I feel like that's a similar situation between us as a viewer and you as the lifestyle influencer and the vlogger. Like, we are just so invested, so here for all your milestones, and most of us want nothing but the best for you. So go to your future consumer, which is right now your audience, your viewers, and ask them and start to get to know them on a personal level and be obsessed with them. Like, I think it's natural, at least it comes off this way, like lifestyle influencers, like, they care about themselves a lot, and that's okay, as you should. Look what you've been able to build by thinking you're so great, which you are. But going forward, you have to learn the skills of being invested into your audience. That's not something easy, but you have to learn how to be customer obsessed. Being customer obsessed is going to just skyrocket everything once you're ready to begin your business venture. So what is it? Consumer-centric approach. That is what you need to keep in mind as you prepare to end this year and go into the new one. Own your niche. Own your niche is my fourth tip for you today. Yes, you're a lifestyle influencer, but there's something unique about you that all lifestyle influencers aren't the same. Me as a viewer, I go to one person for one thing versus another person for another thing. There's like, your personality is that thing, is your niche, and how are you gonna own that in the next 12 months? And how are you gonna own that to create a product or service for yourself? And how are you gonna own that to really build your brand? Oh, hold on. Oh no. My daughter's right here sleeping. Okay, let me get back to what I'm saying. She might wake up and I might have to, pop off for a second. But just because I may watch your content, I'm not 100% sure if you as an individual know yourself enough to know how to own your niche. And it could honestly feel like the opposite, because sometimes in the influencer category of content, it could feel like y'all are just copying each other. Sometimes it's hard to really feel like you guys know your unique flavor and your unique sauce. She did just get up. I will be right back. Okay, I am back, and while I was feeding my daughter, I'm just thinking about, like, I probably haven't cracked a joke or smiled much during this video, but I don't know, I feel like I come off quite serious, but I know particular for this subject and this topic of this video, I'm really passionate about seeing my favorite lifestyle influencers really turn it up, and turn it up in a like boss type of way. Like, I'm really wanting to see that from those who want that for themselves. I understand not all of y'all want that. Like, you don't want to start a business and you don't really want to create additional income streams at this time or in the next 12 months. That's not something that you're interested in. I get it. That's cool. But for those that are and those that do feel what I'm saying, I don't really know what could be funny about what I'm talking about right now. And I guess I'm just being introspective about how I'm delivering this message. And I just want to see this from you, because I think that's another thing as a viewer, going back to like the perspective that we have on you as the content creator, the lifestyle influencer. Like, I think that we see a level of potential for you that you may not be able to see for yourself. And sometimes, I guess that's why it's probably also a great reason to really get in the weeds with your audience and talk to them and get an idea of what is that perspective that they have of you. And you might be shocked to find out, like, wow, these people watch me all the time, and like, this is how they view me, this is what they get from me. And you might be pleasantly surprised, like, wow, I didn't even know I was giving that off. And that may give you this boost of confidence that you might have been needing to really do, like, pull the trigger on these ideas that I know are in your mind and that are on your heart to get out. I'm just really positive in the fact, like, there's things that y'all are marinating on, and you have your own fears associated with getting those ideas out. And you got to ask yourself, like, some of y'all may like fear success. Like, you may still be in a state of shock, like, wow, I'm at this level right now. I did all of this with my content creation and who I am. What's gonna happen if I really like give out what I've been holding back to these people, to the world? You might just be scared of like how successful you can be. And I just want you to know, if that's one of your fears, embrace it, because you could really continue to surprise yourself in what you're able to create and accomplish. We are on tip number 4, own your niche, and that is going to come with leaning into your strengths and sharpening your skill set. Me pushing you to start a business of some sort, I know that comes with you having to learn a new set of skills, and that doesn't probably sound the most glamorous, but it just comes with it. And I think before I went away, I was talking about how you're gonna have to figure out how to stand out in the sense of like being unique, because I was saying, like, sometimes in the lifestyle influencer space, it can seem like everybody's copying each other. It's based on the viewer's perspective, but if someone is like, okay, you just copying the top dogs, or y'all just doing y'all just copying all each other, like, I'm not gonna really look into your content or give you the time of day when you look like you're copying someone else or a bigger lifestyle influencer or a bigger YouTuber. Like, some of you guys, you have an audience all on your own. Like, how can you start to really separate yourself and own your uniqueness and who you are, and really start to stand out and not really be like in a pack of hyenas with all the rest of the lifestyle influencers? Like, how can you be a trailblazer and be different in your content and everything else that you're doing and putting out for your brand that really sets you apart? That's how you're gonna really be able to own your niche, is knowing yourself and being able to communicate that in multiple ways to your audience. Tip number 5 really has to do with, like, if you're wondering, okay, I'm sold, I want to start my business and get my idea that I've been thinking about, I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna start that in this coming year. And you're gonna one of the first places you wanna start with is defining your brand persona. And what that looks like is, again, keeping the customer, consumer, audience, viewer, however you want to call it, in the center. They are the nucleus. They drive every decision that you should be making for this brand / business that you are starting, crafting, creating, putting out. You want the strategy that you create to be, again, consumer-centric. Your brand persona has to do with what the customer experiences when engaging with your brand. So you want to create a profile of your ideal audience and refine your brand messaging. I'm talking to lifestyle influencers. Like, y'all have your audience, you know, you have a brand right now, but you're gonna want to tweak a few things about your messaging and your brand messaging, so that it starts to fall in line with your product/service that you're gonna create. Once you refine that brand messaging, you can start to inject it into your content and even your lifestyle content. Like, your vlogs will begin to have more purpose and direction because you have a brand message that you want to uphold and put out and get your audience, your current audience that already messes with you, get them on board to like, gang, this is how we're moving, this is what we're doing, this is what I'm on. And any new subscribers and new people that come into your atmosphere, they're clear on what your brand is all about. And once you have done that for a while, then you can increase brand awareness. And increasing brand awareness can look like creating more value-based content on your channel. That's also how you can grow your viewership, grow your audience. You're now so clear on your brand messaging that it's like this to come up with those value-based video ideas, those video ideas that I feel like for lifestyle influencers, you either get a vlog or a video on perfume or fashion or, you know, something like that, which definitely holds its value. But when I say value-based content, I just mean like there's been videos that you've watched and you're like, wow, this has really helped me with my content creation career, as an example. Like, you'll start to be able to make videos that relate to the product or service that you want to come out with, and that's really gonna hit it. It's gonna hit it like, oh, for your audience and your viewer. Like dang, this, oh, she's talking like this, she's coming like this with her content now. Like, really shock them. And again, get everyone on board with like where you're taking your brand. One more point on getting clear on your brand messaging. If you talk to everybody, you're talking to nobody. And you're gonna wanna lean into who you're talking to, what are their preferences, you know, what don't they like, where do they like to go. Like, you just really wanna know your audience to the core. The more clear that you are with your brand persona, the easier it will be for you to build your brand on a new level and build this business that should be coming down the pipeline any time now. I feel like I keep saying this, but like, I know you've had ideas that you just haven't executed yet, and your brand persona will make the execution of these ideas for a product or service or whatever it is easier. I'm trying to stress to you, the more you're obsessed with your audience, your customer, your consumer, the more you like get to know them, the easier this journey you're about to embark on will be, because this is not going to be easy creating this business and building your brand and everything in this way. Is gonna be hard, and that's why it's like I'm asking for a level up in the next year. I'm asking you to like get out of your comfort zone. Yes, you made your bag, like, but you can make a bigger bag if you go big. Like, if you go big with your thinking, you go big with everything like that you have been sitting on, you will just amaze yourself. Like, I'm asking you to stop playing small and turn up, level up, like turn everything up a notch in the coming year. I know it's not going to be easy, but the payoff outside of, yes, like we know the money is going to be great, but the payoff and how you will feel is priceless. And the payoff with like how your audience and your customers, everyone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, I needed this. I needed this, and I needed it from her. I needed it from him. I needed them to bring this to surface and come out with this, because it's been missing. And I just feel like everyone, in terms of like you and your audience, everyone's just gonna be happier if you just stop playing small and go big in 2024 and beyond.